Blind spots can trip up new drivers in particular, but almost all of us have had the experience of almost merging into a car we only saw at the last second, or of a car almost merging into us because we were in their blind spot. But it's not only our own blind spots that we need to be aware of, but those of the other vehicles on the road also. And this especially means large vehicles, like buses or tractor-trailers. Many drivers mistakenly assume that a bus or semi-driver can see the road better because they sit twice as high as the driver of a car. Bus and tractor-trailer drivers do have a better forward view and bigger mirrors, but they still have serious blind spots in which a car can completely disappear from view. Blind spots for a tractor-trailer driver can be up to 20 feet in front of the nose of the cab, on either side of the trailer, alongside the cab, and up to 200 feet behind the vehicle. The size and height of semis creates 4 blind spots, as shown in this illustration. Directly in front of or behind the semi, and on either side of the semi, extending further to each side than you might realize. When in a blind spot, you disappear to the driver. Even when the driver checks the rearview mirror, your vehicle is not visible. There are 2 rules of thumb. 1. If you can't see the semi-driver in their mirror, they can't see you. And 2. The bigger the semi, the larger the blind spots. Remember that not only is it dangerous for you, but drivers lingering in a tractor-trailer's blind spots seriously hamper a driver's ability to take evasive action in an emergency. When sharing the road with a semi, always follow these rules. Pass the semi on the left, and do it as quickly as possible without violating speed limit laws. Also, maintain a steady speed when passing so that the driver can calculate when you will move through and out of the semi's blind spot. Never travel alongside a semi in either blind spot, especially on the right side of the semi. The blind spot on the semi's left side is much smaller than the blind spot on the semi's right, but it is equally dangerous. Do not pass a semi on the right. If you do, you are in a blind spot for almost the entire length of the pass and invisible to the semi-driver should they decide to move to the right. Avoid merging too closely in front of the semi after you pass, and return to the lane. If you have to brake suddenly, there is an 80,000-pound truck right behind you who cannot stop as quickly. Don't merge back into the lane until you see the entire front of the semi in your rearview mirror, and never brake or slow down suddenly after merging, which would have the same effect as premature return to the lane. Avoid following too closely to the semi. When you do this, it blocks your vision of the road ahead, so you're unable to anticipate road conditions. But worse than that, in the event of a crash, if you impact a semi from behind, your vehicle could pass partially beneath the trailer. This means the cab of your car would take the impact instead of the hood, resulting in far more severe injuries and much higher chance of being killed. Regardless of how the collision occurred, the effects on the passenger car or truck are likely to be far more severe than a collision with other types of vehicles. Of course, there's also our own blind spots as drivers that are a serious issue. The blind spot that usually is of greatest concern for a passenger vehicle is to the right, and even with the back half of the vehicle. That's one reason it's unsafe to pass on the right. There's also a blind spot on the left of passenger cars, so never merge into a lane to your left without turning your head to confirm that there's no vehicle in the blind spot. Depending on how the right and left side view mirrors were adjusted, it may be as shown for the blue car in this image. Here are some safety tips regarding blind spots. Never linger in another vehicle's blind spot. Slow to allow room or tap your horn when you're in a driver's blind spot and the vehicle is about to merge into your lane. Always check your blind spot before beginning to change lanes yourself. There is also a method for adjusting your mirrors that is growing in the use of drivers. While it does not actually eliminate blind spots, it does make them so small that vehicles the size of a motorcycle can still be seen. Traditionally, drivers have been taught to set their outside mirrors so the sides of the car are just visible in them. But this is what creates blind spots. And in most vehicles, these blind spots can be large enough to hide a car or motorcycle and present a real danger. This new method is called blind spot and glare elimination, the BGE method, and it has several advantages over traditional vehicle mirror settings. When this method is used, you're no longer forced to turn your head to look into the blind spots. Instead, you just use a quick glance at your side mirrors and inside mirror. The BGE method also allows you to keep the road ahead in your peripheral vision. Finally, a car following a car's headlights will no longer shine directly into your eyes through the mirror. The BGE mirror setting method should only be used in vehicles with an inside rearview mirror and two side mirrors though. And don't use this method if you're carrying something that blocks the inside rearview mirror. To set your mirrors in the BGE method, use the following steps. Put your head against the driver's side window and adjust the driver's side mirror so that you can barely see the driver's side of the vehicle. Move your head as close to the center of the car as you can and adjust the passenger side mirror so you can barely see the passenger's side of your car. To check your BGE settings, watch as a car passes you in an adjacent lane. It should enter your outside mirror before it leaves the rear view or inside mirror. Also, the car should appear in your peripheral vision before it leaves the outside mirror. Remember, your inside rear view mirror is your primary mirror, and it will take time to get adjusted to no longer seeing the sides of your car in the side mirrors. You can investigate the BGE method for mirrors more by going to the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration website. To be safe, no matter how you set your mirrors, do a head check before changing lanes.